Hi y'all, and welcome to another month of makeup rotation shop my stash. Now I'm gonna start this out with May was a bit of an interesting month for me, and I feel like I wasn't as at least in my personal thing, like y'all were still seeing videos and all that jazz because I pre-film because this is not my regular job, so I don't have the time to just film a video and get it up tonight. But I feel like I wasn't as personally super involved in the makeup and going out of my comfort zone and doing things. I was kind of coasting through. We had some not feeling good, depression, I mean all that jazz. If you want to see me depression real time, just follow my Snapchat. So I will admit that I wasn't nearly as good this month as I was, using this stuff. I used some of them. I'll talk about those, and we are going to pull out and kind of start fresh for June because I already have some ideas of stuff that I want to pull out and use. But I might as well start off with talking about the things that I did use. So this is the Viseart Dark Mattes palette. Y'all know I love the Viseart formula, especially their mattes. And this is an absolutely gorgeous palette. It is dark yet colorful, grungy. You can see there are a couple of shades, especially those orangey ready tones that I've gotten a lot of use out of. I did reach for this a couple of times, maybe not for on its own, but for a couple of deepening up shades for some colorful looks I was doing. So I'm pretty sure I am okay with putting this back into just the collection on a whole. And basically the majority of this was untouched. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't feeling this. I wasn't vibing with what I'd picked. There are a couple times where I wanted to pull out this one, which is the Tartist Pro palette, which is pretty. And it's got some of those colors that I love. It's got some of the cool tones that I've been vibing with. It's got the reddies and the purple and the maroons. The punk shade there is really nice. Mod, no filter. It's got some good stuff. But for some reason, I just didn't have it in me. I'd think about it and then it just wouldn't happen. Same with the Tartelette here, though this one, I've been really, since getting the Melt Cosmetics 420 palette, I've really been thinking about having a cool toned moment. So this one is going to stay in the rotation for June. This is Riviera. Didn't really touch it. Not for the mattes. Oh, hello. Not for the mattes. Not for the shimmers. I just wasn't reaching for it. Once again, I don't know what it is. As y'all know, I like to say maybe I just suck at makeup to, look at this palette and be all like, I don't know how to get a full look. I have issues. But when I'm thinking about using pinks and purples and whatevers, which kind of tells me, you don't reach for it even when you pull it out. Maybe it's time to declutter that shiz. But this one is gonna go, and then the Sultry. This is such a pretty palette. I think I am gonna keep this one as well to use these shimmers as sort of a companion to the Tartelette, because the Tartelette is all matte and this one has some beautiful shimmers. Rose Quartz, Steampunk, Pearl, Cinder, Amber, just absolutely beautiful. So I am gonna keep this one in as well. Then we have the Jeffree Star Androgyny palette. I think I'm gonna keep this one as well in the rotation to see if I can make it work with the Tartelette, because this one has kind of some fun colors. I think that would work well with a lot of the cool tones in the Tartelette palette. So this one I am going to keep in the rotation. Then moving on, this I haven't touched. I don't feel inclined to touch it, so that's going back. I didn't reach for this one at all either. Like I said, in May, I was just kind of on autopilot and I was just grabbing for the same things I grabbed for over and over again, except for, I think I did 2, maybe 3 reviews in May, but for the most part, I was just doing my same old, same old. But this one, I'm still going to keep in the rotation because I think it's all nice and illuminating, so I think I'll be, oh, hello, Your Majesty. Hello, Dingus boy. But I think I'd be more inclined to reach for this one right now than this one. So that's what we're going to do there. Then next up, let's talk about two things that I did use. This is the Soph Revolution, Soph plus Makeup Revolution. This is a beautiful palette. Obviously, I've gotten a lot of use out of that shade. I'm really excited to pull this out when I get a little tanner because some of those deeper colors down below mixed with these ones up here, absolutely beautiful. It is a very nice quality. The formula is good. For the price on this, I would highly recommend this, and I think I made the right choice keeping it in my collection. Then something you would have seen in my hits and misses for May. This is the Natasha Denona 01 Daria Plus Blush Face palette. I absolutely love that duo glow. It is this perfect purple gold shift. I really, really like the Glow Extreme. I like the diamond powder. That one's going to be color for me in the summertime. And then the cream blush and the powder blushes, absolutely amazing. I did say in my favorites, hits and misses, that part of the reason I love this is because even though some of the products are creams, they pick up just fine with the brushes I typically use for highlighter and blush. So super, super in love with this. Super glad that I bought it. Definitely worth the $44 price tag. I did say in my hits and misses, not so sure it's worth that $80, but for 44 bucks, definitely go out and get you this shiz. And something that I didn't grab probably nearly as much as I should have is this Zoeva Spring Spectrum palette. I used to be all about these like icy duochrome highlighters, Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild, yes. And now when it comes to highlighting, like I like a highlighter that's my skin tone, you know what I mean? And sometimes when you get into these super pale or super cool toned highlighters, they tend to look kind of like a streak on your face, or at least for me. So I'm still undecided. I'm thinking about leaving this one in the rotation because I do want to use it before I make a decision about it. The powders are very smooth and beautiful. When you swatch them, they're all kinds of cha-cha-cha-cha. So while I still am just a little bit pasty and ain't getting too much color, I think I am gonna keep this one in the rotation for June. Then last but not least, this is definitely where I fell short in the blush department, which you think I wouldn't because I pulled out 50 million of them. So let's just go with what I did try out and enjoy. These are the Pretty Vulgar, I believe they're the shimmering, the shimmering swan highlighters. The formula is beautiful on these. Now I use this one mostly. This one is Glimmer Shimmer, Glimmer of BS. Perfect for me right now. This one here in Glow Up is a bit too deep for me right now, but I am really, really in love with this formula, and I cannot wait to pull this out when I get just a hint more of color. Then I admit I did not reach for these even once. I just didn't. I don't know if it has to do with the undertones of them. Like this one, maybe I need to be a little deeper. This one's real cool toned, and honestly, so is this one. I'm gonna pull these back into my collection because I have some highlighters I know I want to pull out for this rotation. So like I said, it's not that they're bad. I just want to move to something else, and then maybe after I do that, I'll be inspired to try these again. But for right now, I'm just a little burned out on the selection I'd chosen. Then as for the Milani blushes, I tried a couple of them. I believe I'd used this one, which was Dolce Pink. I definitely used Luminoso a couple of times. I reached for Berry Amore once or twice. I did use Coralina once. Let's see here. No, not that one. What is this one? And I know I did not reach for this one, but I do love it. This one is Bella Bellini. So I do think I'm okay with pulling these back in. There are just, I think next time I pull these out, there are just some specific colors that I want to use, because I found that I basically, aside from this one, I basically use the ones that I already know I absolutely love. This is a fantastic formula, heckin' pigmented, so I'm gonna pull these out, but next time I pull them into a rotation, I'm not gonna do all of them. I'm just gonna do the colors that I want to use more. Next up is Urban Decay, and I have been an advocate for these blushes for I don't know how long, and I kind of hate to say it, but I kind of think I might not like this formula as much as I thought I did, at least the matte ones. I used Bittersweet today, and while it was pretty, it was not fun to blend, and it didn't look really nicey nice and beautiful on my skin. Same with Quickie here. It just, like, it's heckin' pigmented, but it just doesn't blend out nicely. It tends to look patchy. It looks like really overdone on the cheeks. Like, if you're someone who likes an intense, like drag queen-esque, very there blush, then yeah, sure, these would work great, but I just wasn't in love with how they looked on my skin, which makes me sad because they have some amazing colors, like this Bang one here, and then this one over here is Quiver. It's just such a unique color. I'm just not sure of how big of a fan I am of the matte ones. I love this one. This Indecent shade is one of my most used by them. It is the most beautiful, just light, soft, peachy apricot shade. So I am going to pull these out because, like I said, there's stuff I know I want to pull in. Next time I pull them in, I'm going to have to really give myself some consideration on this matte formula, because if I don't really love it, or the colors that I don't like how they look on my skin, why am I keeping it? Okay, so let's get some blush on up in here. I love how I went into this saying, I know exactly what I want to pull out, and now I'm like blanking. I think it was highlighter. I really knew what I wanted to pull out. Okay, let me see here. Okay, you know what? I need to get more use out of these blinking hourglass ones. So I'm going to pull these out because these were expensive and I need to use them more. An absolutely gorgeous formula. I did use this one recently, and I admit I'm not the biggest fan of these two just because I feel like in the swirling and the pouring of these, they got a little bit heavy on the highlighter side and not a lot of blush product. It's a lot more highlighter shimmer in there than there is like blush compared to, say, these four. That one's beautiful. That one's new to me. That one's new to me. So these I'm going to obviously pull in and hopefully get use out of them and fall in love with them all over again and decide if those ones actually do anything for my skin. Okay, let's see. Maybe just a little bit more. Wrong drawer. Just a little bit more blush. I feel like these are ones I use. I reach for the Patrick Ta. What's over here? I reach for the Kylie. I reach for the Natasha Denona. Oh my goodness. Should I reach? Should I pull out? Should we pull out more Milani blushes? Yeah, because I think those other ones were pretty, like, a little bit crazy. So I'm going to pull these out because, you know, I need to get use out of these. And there are a couple different more muted shades compared to those ones, because when it came to the hourglass ones, I bought kind of the crazy colored ones. We've got this coral one, this one, you know, that one's really nice, nudie. I've been really kind of loving the cool tone Tarte Exposed sort of blush. And these ones are like, they're matte, but they're not like flat. So those ones are all like super highlighty. I think it'll be good to have the super highlighty and then the kind of matte satin companions. So I've got options both ways. And I'm pretty sure that'll be it for blush. I may pull out another palette. So let's do some highlighter. You all know your girl needs an excuse to use highlighter. Well, I need to stop using the same highlighter I use over and over again. So, okay, I reached for collab. I feel like we've all been through this. I reached for the Kylie. I reached for the ColourPop. I reached for these. What are these? Is this? Okay, we're gonna pull out these Melt Cosmetics one, and I'm gonna figure out how to make them work one way or another. I paid lots of money for these. I cannot return them, so we're gonna make them work. I mean, they're super pretty, but you would have seen in my highlighter declutter, I was like, I don't know how to get this on my face. And a couple of y'all gave me some suggestions, so we're gonna see if we can get this on my face, because they're absolutely stunning to look at. So we got those highlighters. What have we got in this drawer here? Okay, all right. I think the time has come for me to like figure out, okay, give me just a second. I am going to pull out these 3 Wet n Wild ones. This one, I have no idea the name of it, but it's kind of like goldy greeny, and y'all know I love that shiz all over my face, but I don't know what name it is. It's from Halloween. Then I'm gonna bring Blossom Glow, which is a beautiful pale person pink, and then Golden Flower Crown, which is a fantastic pale person gold. And I am notorious for purchasing but not using my Wet n Wild highlighters. Like, I don't need any more Wet n Wild highlighters because clearly I have a bunch that I do not use. So I'm going to try to get these whatever, because I'm not like, I think I like them. It's like that type of thing. And like people swatch them. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Why doesn't mine look like that? So I'm going to pull these out. And the next thing that I am going to pull out that I knew I needed to pull out are going to be all, how many of these do I have? I got 5 of these blinking Jeffree Star Skin Frost. I used to have like 13. And they've been decluttered for one reason or another. This is another highlighter that I'm notorious for pulling out and swatching and being like, it's so pretty! And then it doesn't get used. It just sits here in this drawer with all these weird, awkward, large, and whateverness. I mean, they pretty. That one is ice cold, definitely one of my favorites. Peach Goddess is beautiful. That is the Eclipse, the Manny MUA, that Summer Snow Cone. And this is Lavender Snow, which I'll probably get the least used out of, because y'all know that, I mean, that one, if I'm talking about liking a highlighter that melts into my skin, it may melt into my skin product-wise, but that color gonna show up like nobody's business. So I'll probably try mixing it or doing whatever, but I need to get use out of these blinking things. Like, maybe I wouldn't be as annoyed if I had a different makeup setup, but I don't currently, so I am going to try my hardest to get use out of these. And like, those 2 colors, so pretty. Those 2, that mixed and that, so yeah. We're gonna get use out of these, whether they like it or not. Okay, moving on to face palettes. Let's see here. As much as I say, oh, I totally reach for my glow kits, I don't. I'm actually gonna pull out this Lime Crime highlight palette in opals. This is like the best pale person one, and I'm gonna pull out Fairies, which is one that I've used a fair amount of time. You can see that shade all the way to the right, but I do want to get more use out of this really golden shade and see what kind of whatevers I can do with that purple, because that's a pretty purple. Then I've got this here. I've got a fair amount of blush. Cocktail Party. I may pull just one of these out. Pool Party, Peachy Love. I'm gonna pull Peachy Love because I don't think I had a lot of peachy. Well, I probably did, but I'm gonna pull out Peachy Love, and we're gonna try using this shiz. Last but not least, a much more quelled down eyeshadow palette collection. If y'all had seen my declutters, this is a pretty used drawer. That's ColourPop, Huda Beauty, Viseart, Midas Cosmetics, Norvina. Obviously, I reached for the Viseart, the Norvina, ColourPop, and we got this here. I'm gonna pull out the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. I did a review of this when it first came out, and I actually really like the quality. That middle shimmer shade in Beat is absolutely stunning. Then I'm actually going to pull out these two Natasha Denona palettes because I paid my money. I reviewed both of them and they're both pretty good, but I just don't reach for them. This one is the Love palette, which I anti-hauled and bought anyway because I'm stupid. And then this one here is the Sunrise palette. I think they're going to work really well together, so I will pull both of these out. Okay, I've been wanting to get into more like blue looks, so I tend to reach for my ColourPop Blue Moon other than this for some reason, so I am gonna pull this out and see if I can't force myself to do blue looks. I'm good with that drawer. I don't want to have too much. And then this drawer, Jeffree Star Bloodlust. This is another palette that I reviewed, and I feel like I was like, yeah, you know, it's good. It's not his best thing, but I haven't gotten a lot of use out of it, so I'm gonna pull this out and see if I can't force myself to use this when I'm trying to do purple looks because I reach for my ColourPop Lilac You a Lot and the Ooh La La. No, there's I Like Lilac, I don't know, the purple palettes from ColourPop. Okay, so I pulled out a lot of eyeshadow. I think I am going to put this one back in. I'm gonna put this one in. I still want to get some cool tone stuff out of the Tartelette, but I think I'll have enough shimmers for working with the Tartelette between the Natasha Denona, that and that. So I am gonna put the Sultry back as well. So here's the overview of what I have got for June. We've got the why won't you focus? Got the highlight palettes from Lime Crime, the Zoeva, Flower Beauty, Hourglass, Milani, Melt, Wet n Wild, Jeffree Star, ABH again, Blue Blood, Lunar Beauty, Natasha Denona, and Tartelette, and more Jeffree Star. So, hopefully this will be a better month for me, a month where I'm feeling more creative, more innovative, less stuck in a rut, and let's make June a really fantastic month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!